Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about stem and leaf plots. And stem and leaf plots are just a type of graph used to organize data. So let's look at this example that I've done for you. Your data set includes the number 3, 27, 5, 12, 19, 30, 33, and 27. So what I've done is that I've taken all of those numbers and put them into a stem and leaf plot. Now if you look down here at the bottom, they will usually give you a key that tells you how to read a stem and leaf plot. So 3 on the left side and a 5 on the right side means 35. So your stem, if your stem is 3 and your leaf is 5, that means the number is 35. Okay, so let's look at these up here. With your stem and leaf, your leaf is almost always going to be your ones place. Okay, it's the number in the ones place. And your stem will be your tens place, because that's how our key is. Our stem is our tens place and our leaf is our ones place. Okay, now if you have numbers bigger than 100, sometimes your stem may have your tens and your hundreds place, but we'll look at an example like that. Okay, but for this one, your stem represents your tens place and your leaf represents your ones place. And I want you to notice something very, very important. Okay, as you're going this way, your numbers are going up. Your numbers are in order from least to greatest. Okay, so from the top of your stem to the bottom, your numbers are always going from least to greatest. And it's the same way with the leaf. Okay, as you're moving from left to right, you're also listing your numbers from least to greatest. Okay, that's very important if you have to make a stem leaf, that you keep your numbers in order from least to greatest. So what I've done is I've took my data set and I've listed those in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to do that right here. So it looks like the smallest is 3, and then 5, 12, 19, I've got 27 twice, so I have to write that both times, 30, and 33. Okay, now look at my stem and leaf plot. For 3, there's not a number in the tens place, so we list that beside of 0. If there's a 0 in the tens place and a 3 in the ones place, then it's just the number 3. Same thing with the number 5. So their tens place and 3 and 5 would be 0. Okay, so that would be your stem, and your leaf is 3 and 5. Well, your tens place and 12 and 19 are both 1. So that would be your stem, and your leaf would be 2 and 9, 12 and 19. And 27, your tens place is 2. So your stem would be 2, and your leaf would be 7. And you have to list 7 twice. This is where I'm at. You see the dot. You have to list 7 twice because you have the number 27 twice. Okay. Now look at 30 and 33. Both of your tens place in those numbers is 3. So 3 is your stem. 0 and 3 are your leaf because those are your ones place. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, this time they've given us the stem and leaf plot, and the key is 2 as the stem and 1 as the leaf equals 21. So you've got your tens place in the stem and your ones place in the leaf. Okay, so let's see. If you list out these numbers, if your tens place is 2, if your tens place is 0 and your leaf is 2, then that's just the number 2. If your tens place is 0 and your ones place is 7, that's just the number 7. If your stem is 1 and your leaf is 3, that would be 13. Okay, they've got the stem 2, but nothing listed in the leaf. Okay, that's because you can't skip numbers in the stem. So if you start at 0 and go to 5, you have to list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, but in this case, we didn't have any numbers with a 2 in the tens place. Okay, but we do have a stem of 3. with a leaf of 4, 4, and 6. So that would be 34, 34 again, and 36. Then we've got a stem of 4 and a leaf of 2. So that would be 42, and I'm going to have to come down here. And then I've got a stem of 5 and a leaf of 1, 3, and 9. So that would be 51, 53, and 59. Okay, I hope that explains how they're organizing this data. Your stem is almost always your tens place, and your leaf will be your ones placed. Okay, if you have numbers 0 to 9, then their stem is going to be 0 because there's no number in the tens place. Alright, and the key will really help you understand your stem and leaf plot that they give you. So this time we've got a question. How many numbers are at least 30 or above? Well, 30 has a 3 in the tens place, so this would be 30 right here. This would be where 30 starts. Okay, we've got 34, 34, and 36. Okay, all of those are 30 or above. 42 would also be above 30. 51, 53, and 59 are also above 30. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers that are at least 30 or above. Okay, now let's look at the stem and leaf plot on the right. I'm not going to list out the numbers this time, but I'm going to get you to look at the key. This time they've got 2 numbers under the stem and 1 place value on the leaf. Okay, so if there are 2 numbers under the stem, that means your place value isn't just tens this time. It's your hundreds and tens place. Okay, this is when you start getting into bigger numbers, numbers that are bigger than 99, and they have more than just 2 place values. Okay, so if you have 2 numbers under your stem, then it's going to be your hundred and tens place, and your leaf will still be your ones place. Okay, so actually I am going to list out these numbers just so it'll help you more. Okay, if you've got a stem of 11, that means your hundreds and tens place are 11, and your leaf would be 0, so that would be 110. The next one would still have a hundreds and tens place of 11, but the ones place would be 2, so that would be 112. Okay, now we've got a hundreds and tens place that looks like 12, and your ones place is 7, and that's 3 times, so that's 127 3 times. Do you see how I'm getting that? 127. 127, 127. Your stem is your hundreds and tens place in this case, and your leaf is still your ones place. Okay, then I've got 134 and 139. Okay, I don't have anything with a 1 and 4 in the hundreds and tens place. Okay, because there's nothing listed here. There's nothing listed under the leaf, so there's no numbers in the 140s. Okay, skip to 155, then 155 again, and 156. And it shows you down here at the key, if there's 11 in the stem and a 5 in the leaf, it would be 115. Okay, and what if I asked you what the mode of that data was? It's easy to look at the stem and leaf plot. It's actually easier than to look at the list of numbers, because you can look at the leaf and see which number was listed the most amount of times. Okay, in this case, 127 was listed 3 times. So it was listed more than any other number in that data set, 127. Okay, now we're going to look at making a stem and leaf plot. Okay, the first step in making a stem and leaf plot is to list your data points from least to greatest. So here are my data points right here. And I'm going to list those from least to greatest. So start with 3, then 5, 13, 16, 19, 21, and 22. Okay, so I've listed my data points from least to greatest. The next step is I'm going to use the tens place for the stem and ones place for the leaf. If I had numbers greater than 99, so anything with a hundreds place, then I would use the hundreds and tens place for the stem and the ones place for the leaf. But in this case, we don't have any numbers greater than 99 or at least 100 or above, so we just have to put the tens place as the stem and the ones place as the leaf. So my tens place in 3 would be 0. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, because 3 and 5 don't have a tens place, so their stem would be 0. Okay, but the leaf, we'd list those still in order, would be 3 and then 5. Okay, so that takes care of 3 and 5. I'm going to put little check marks. Okay, then we've got 13, 16, and 19, and they all have the same tens place, which would be 1. So that would be our stem. And then our ones place would be our leaf. So we've got 13, which would be 3. 16 has a ones place of 6. And 19 has a ones place of 9. So I've took care of 13, 16, and 19. And then I've got 21 and 22. Both of those have a tens place of 2. So that would be my stem. And their ones place would be 1 for 21 and 2 for 22. And then I have made my own stem and leaf plot for that set of data. Now it's important to remember that if you're making your own stem and leaf plot, you never skip numbers in the stem. Okay, so let's say we added a 47 to our data set, and we need to list that. We wouldn't go 0, 1, 2, 4 because 4 is in the tens place. Okay, we would have to go from 3 to 4. And since there's no numbers with a tens place of 3, so no numbers in their 30s, we would just leave that blank. Okay, then for the stem of 4, we would put 47. 4 is the stem and 7 is the leaf. Okay, that's what I mean when you never skip numbers in the stem. You don't go 0, 1, 2, 3, 7. You have to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you wanted to get to 7, it'd have to go 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's one thing that you need to remember. Also, if a number is listed twice, then you have to write it twice. Okay, so if I go back to the last example, like 127, it was listed 3 different times, so it had to show up 3 times in our stem and leaf plot. Okay, and if you have a number that doesn't show up, but you have the stem like 3, you just leave it blank. Like 30 or any number in the 30s wasn't in this data set, so we had to leave the 3 blank. That's what I'm talking about right here. Let's see. As long as you remember that your ones place is the leaf and your tens place is the stem, or your tens and hundreds, depending on how big your numbers are, you should be good to go. The activity you'll do today actually will kind of walk you through it, and then there will be some videos you can watch too. So if you're still a little confused, it's okay. You can always come back and watch this video or look at some examples I post on Google Classroom. Okay, let's go back. Just a quick review. Stem and leaf plots are just a type of graph used to organize data. Your data always has to be listed in order from least to greatest. So your stem will always go from least to greatest, and your leaf will always go from least to greatest. Key is really important. The key will help you more than anything. Let's see. Stem, once again, is your tens place or your tens and hundreds place, depending on how big your number is. And your leaf will always be your ones place. All right. I hope this helped you guys, and feel free to message me if you have any questions.